give you guys an update. So the last video you guys saw, we were installing the seats, the Corbeau seats onto the Veloster because we're getting ready for SEMA. We are right around 60 something days before SEMA, so we got to make sure that we are ready to go. So I have a video coming up of the Velocitech. I lost some footage, so I'm gonna be putting it on. But today we're gonna do something. We're going to switch out the Forge intercooler. It's been a great intercooler for me, but I want to try something else, and that I will show you in a second. But another thing I want to tell you guys about, and if you are following me on IG, you will already know. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. I post stuff there a lot more frequently than I do here. Here's when I'm gonna do my major updates and such, and I'm trying to get back into making videos more constantly. But here is a big update. We actually have a color change. So the car is now wrapped in KPMF purple black iridescent, and it's the gloss version, and it has also been ceramic coated. So out here, I had boy Christian Lucas do it over at Houdini Wraps, and 93 Quartz went ahead and did the ceramic coating on the entire car. Not only did they do the outside, they also did the inside. So as you can see, Corbeaus are in, got carbon everywhere. I actually got carbon vents now, so that's taken care of. Pretty much everything that I wanted to do to the front end I've done, including the Alcantara cluster cover there. So another thing that is going that's on the car already is this massive aggressive Audro V2 spoiler, and holy cow, I'm in love with this thing, along with their diffuser for the rear. The sides are coming, so I'll show you those sides, and I also have the front lip. So I've already started to take the car apart, so that way I can get everything going. But as you can see, as I'm walking around the car, this color is just amazing. The way that the color shifts and everything, it's awesome. So I'll throw in some pictures of what the car looks like also in the sun. Took some badass pictures the other day. But for now, I am going to put this intercooler, and also going to do the oil cooler. So that way you can see what it's like. It's not going to really be a tutorial. I'll probably talk about it and kind of go over it. I'm going to do the oil change while I'm at it because I'm past due, and since I'm going to be changing all that out, might as well get that done. So here we go. So car's on jack stands now. Got jack on there for precaution as well. So I took the splash guard off, so that way we have access to everything down there. So far I've taken off the 4 10mm bolts that are holding the intercooler from the front. Then we'll play with the couplers, loosen those up, yank this guy out, and show you what we're putting in. Gonna go grab a bite to eat real quick, and I'll come back to the car. And for you guys, it'll be just as easy as
day 2.
So it's the second day, and we are done with the install of this new intercooler. So I want to talk a little bit about why I did this. So, you know, I had the Forge intercooler and everything was great. There isn't anything wrong with it at all. Now, the reason why I did it is because I wanted, first of all, something different. And what I mean by it is that I was one of the first Veloster ends that had the Forge intercooler. Now, when we did it, and you guys can go back to the video and see that, the Forge intercooler had fins on both sides, and they were made for the i30N. So on the Veloster, because of the way that the bumper is set up, essentially, I had to grind down, or with Alex, we grind down and we cut a little bit on what the depthness of the depth of the actual fins. So, you know, that, and then, you know, also the other thing that happened on mine, unfortunately, is that on the hot side, I had this bracket that broke. I don't know why, but it did. So now I have the airtec intercooler, which looks great. It actually is just a bit thicker. I want to say maybe like a 1/4 of an inch thicker on this part here than the Forge. And then I also got their big boost kit. So it replaces the hot and the cold side. So that's pretty much what I did. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're actually going to be putting on the airtec oil cooler. Now, the reason that I'm doing this oil cooler is because I live in a climate where it gets hot. So if anybody has been in SoCal and in different areas like the San Fernando Valley, Inland Empire, if you're anywhere in Arizona and Texas, Nevada, anywhere that gets hot, this car likes to get hot and it will run fine. I have seen people that track their cars and it gets to 220, 250 and it's fine. For me, I don't track it, but I do drive it quite a bit. I've got over 30,000 miles on the car and I just want the car to last me a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the oil cooler, and it's got a thermostatic, let me go back here. It's got a thermostatic sandwich plate. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow the car to run without actually using the oil cooler up until it hits temperature. And then this will open up and make sure you keep it cool. So it keeps it at temperature. So, it'll hit the 200 and it'll stay there at 200. I think I've seen maybe 205, 210 with some of those that have been, using their car, like really using their car with an oil cooler. So, it still keeps you at operating temp. So, I'm going to put that on and I'm going to show you how I've been doing it. Here we go. All right. So what we're going to do first is I am going to put the oil cooler up here. But before I do any of that, I'm actually going to do an oil change. So I'm not going to show you how I do the oil change, because if you are doing an oil cooler and don't know how to do an oil change, you should have somebody else do this for you. So let me get the oil change. Well, essentially right now drop the oil so that way we can put fresh oil after we put the oil cooler on, and we'll get through with that. Alright, so we have drained all the oil, and I'm always messy, and I did not put the filter back on. I'm about to do the plug right now. Got a crush washer for it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put on the sandwich plate. So I'll go over how to do that and up here in this general area. So I'll show you guys how to get that done. Alright, so once you've gone ahead and removed the oil filter, you've drained the oil, if you're doing an oil change, I recommend you do an oil change so that way you just have everything fresh. You are going to put this guy on. So what this guy is going to be is your sandwich plate. And the sandwich plate is going to go up like this, and this sleeve will be like this. So what will happen is the inside threads here, see if I can get it to focus, those go to where your oil filter right now will screw onto, but now that gives it kind of like a spacer, so now it'll do it here. So let's go ahead and show you how that's done. Alright, so this may not be perfectly in focus, but you'll get the idea of what we're doing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put just a bit of oil on the O-ring that comes with the sandwich plate. So the instructions say to put a little bit of oil, and then you're going to mount it just like that, and trying to see what other ways it could be, but no, it's just like this. And then you're going to start screwing in that adapter just like that. So we make sure that we clear the AC lines there. So that should do it. I'm gonna tighten it just a tiny bit, but after that, these guys we gotta get tightened too. So we'll get these guys tightened up and ready to go. Alright, so I've tightened up these two guys. This one's tight. Nothing's going anywhere now. So all we need to do is now put the oil cooler up on top, run the lines, put the oil filter on. Well, we can put the oil filter on right now, and then we are good to go. Alright, so we are here. And in order to get this oil cooler, I tried to do it with the crash bar on. You can't. I tried to do it the lazy way. You can't. So you gotta take the crash bar off. Got a couple of 12s, a couple of 10s. Nothing too hard. And now we are here. So we gotta do is get those brackets put on here. So let's see how interesting this is. All right, so I did the part here. So I tightened up everything. It was a 26 millimeter for the extender that goes in the middle of this, and that's the one that the oil filter goes to. This is a 1-inch wrench that I used to go in here and tighten these guys up. And as you can see, nothing's hitting anything here. And then it's a 10 over where the transmission bracket is, and these guys are all nice and tidied up, and then comes up here. So what I didn't show was mounting this, and honestly, once I figured out how it's supposed to be, it was not hard. But I'll show you here what I did once I get up and standing. Alright, so I put everything back together. I mean, as far as the oil cooler and the intercooler is concerned, everything's back together. I am making sure that there are no leaks. So I'm letting the car get up to temperature before I button it all up. So you want to make sure you do that, just to make sure that there's no leaks anywhere, because it is a thermostatic filter. It's not going to open up and go through the cooler and everything until it hits that temperature. So gonna wait, make sure that everything's working, nothing's leaking, and then we'll button it up. Alright, so we went ahead, let the car run, get up to temperature, and there is no leaks whatsoever. So put everything back together, splash guard, make sure everything was tight, and now putting the bumper back on. I just gotta take care of all the bolts up here, the 210s on the sides, the clips on those sides there. We're good to go. So that is how we do it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys like these videos. But damn, that looks badass. I like that. So again, let me know. I got some more stuff coming, some really badass stuff, and let me know what you think. Comment down below, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.